No matter who you support, every club at some point in their history has succumbed to the pressure and absolutely bottled it. In today's video, we're diving headfirst into the biggest bottle jobs by every team in the Premier League. So sit back, relax, and relive these unforgettable moments. Enjoy. 2003 Arsenal. As per usual of Arsenal teams, there was genuine belief that Arsenal was so good that they'd never lose again. Instead, they achieved that the next year. In 2003, Arsenal were cruising, 8 points clear. Then the Gunners did what they do best: own goals, defensive calamities, and a 3-2 home loss to a relegation-threatened Leeds, thanks to Mark Viduka's late winner, ending their title hopes. Ironically, the same squad with the same manager would go invincible the next year. Aston Villa 1990. From 17th to title contenders in a year, Graham Taylor's Villa were flying. In March, they were 3 points clear of the table. Then, in true Villa fashion, they lost at home to a Man City side that hadn't won away in 4 years. 2 goals conceded to a team allergic to away wins. David Platt went missing, and Villa's defense crumbled. Villa finished second behind Liverpool, 9 points back, their closest sniff of a title in decades. And in that same year, Bournemouth, 1990. Bournemouth, of course, has spent most of their history fighting relegation, but this one stung. Final day of the season at home and needing a result against Leeds to stay up. Instead, they lose 1-0 to a Lee Chapman goal, got relegated, and to add insult to injury, Leeds fans rioted so hard they caused £1 million in damage. Bournemouth, not just relegated, but left picking up the literal pieces. Brentford's 2020 playoff final loss. Brentford were on the brink, 8 wins in a row, then bottled automatic promotion with losses to Stoke and Barnsley. Forced into the playoffs, they faced Fulham in an empty Wembley thanks to COVID. The final was tense and ugly until Joe Bryan caught David Raya napping with a free kick in extra time. They finally made it in 2021, but this was Brentford's 9th playoff failure, a national record. Brighton 2013. Brighton, flying high, finished 4th and met rivals Crystal Palace in the playoff semis. Palace were in dreadful form and missing top striker Glenn Murray. Brighton hadn't lost at home since January. But to defy all expectations of Brighton winning at home for the second leg, Wilfred Zaha scored twice, which surely impressed the Moyes family and sent Palace to Wembley. Brighton had all the momentum, all the stats, and bottled it when it mattered most. Burnley's late 1960s decline. Burnley was once a force, winning the league in 1960, but as the 60s wore on, their stars aged, the money dried up, and they couldn't keep up with the rising competition. The club slid from title contenders to relegation, finally dropping out of the top flight in 1971 after 24 straight seasons. Chelsea 2011. Reigning champions Chelsea started the season well, then ran straight into Man City and Carlos Tevez, who scored the only goal in the tight game. That loss started a spiral. Defeats to Liverpool and Sunderland, draws with Villa and Everton, all whilst John Terry was having an extramarital affair. Chelsea bottled their title defence before Christmas, but at least Wayne Bridge got his revenge. Crystal Palace 1993. Palace went down with 49 points, the highest ever for a relegated team, but before then, they sold a key striker in Mark Bright. They couldn't score, and on the final day needed a draw at Arsenal to survive. Instead, they lost 3-0, with club legend Ian Wright scoring against them for Arsenal. Meanwhile, Oldham pulled off a miracle win to survive. Palace, relegated by 2 goals and haunted by their own hero. Everton 1986. Reigning champions Everton were chasing a double, but when it mattered, they fell apart. The worst was a 1-0 loss to relegation-threatened Oxford United, where John Aldridge scored the only goal, whilst top scorer Gary Lineker ghosted. That loss handed Liverpool the league, and Everton finished second in both the league and FA Cup, the ultimate Merseyside bottle job. Fulham 1983. Fulham were cruising toward promotion, 7 points clear with a game in hand in March. Then came a string of defeats, and on the final day, they needed a win at Derby. Trailing 1-0, their game was abandoned after a pitch invasion. Leicester, their promotion rivals, won and went up instead. Fulham's squad broke up, and within 3 years, they were relegated again. Leeds 1972. Don Revie's Leeds were chasing a double, having just won the FA Cup. 2 days later, needing a draw at Wolves for the league, they took a pounding. Billy Bremner scored the equaliser for Leeds, but they immediately conceded to Derek Dugan. Leeds lost the title by a point. Another Derby County field heartbreak, another entry in their long list of bottles. Liverpool 2014. With just 3 games to go, Liverpool was top of the league. Then came the unforgettable Gerrard slip against Chelsea. But the real bottle job was blowing a 3-0 lead at Crystal Palace. Instead of shutting the game down defensively, Liverpool chased more goals, conceded 3 in the last 11 minutes, and handed the title to Man City. Man City 1977. City came within a point of the title, but a 2-1 loss at Liverpool in April ruined their title hopes. Keegan scored, Royal got injured, and after briefly equalising, City conceded again almost instantly. Joe Corrigan was man of the match, but City's attack was toothless. That one game swung the title to Liverpool. Manchester United 2012. It's not just the Aguero goal. United were 8 points clear with 6 games left, then they bottled it. The 4-4 draw at home to Everton was the killer. Up 4-2 with 10 minutes remaining. Like Liverpool 2014, they kept attacking, conceded twice, and dropped 2 crucial points. Their so-called best keeper of all time, David De Gea, conceded 4 at home, and City snatched the title on goal difference. In the end, Fergie time backfired, and in the worst possible way. Newcastle 1996. You can call Newcastle the mother of all Premier League bottle jobs. Newcastle led by 12 points in January and somehow found a way to bottle it. Dropped multiple points, but the 1-0 home loss to Manchester United, Cantona scoring, was the turning point. Finished second, 4 points behind champions Manchester United. Nottingham Forest 1979. Reigning champions Forest were unbeaten in 42 games before Liverpool ended their streak with a 2-0 win at Anfield. That was one of only 3 losses all season, but it was enough for Liverpool to win the title by 8 points. Forest never challenged for the league again, but at least they won the European Cup that season. Sunderland from 2016 to 2018. Not just one bottle, but a whole collection. Relegated from the Premier League after a decade, then immediately relegated again to League One, lost key games to the likes of Middlesbrough and Burton Albion, conceding late goals, and sunk down as far as the 3rd tier of English football. For a club with such history, this was an all-time collapse. Tottenham Hotspur 2016. Spurs were Leicester's main challengers, but when it mattered most, they bottled it. Needed to beat a mid-table Chelsea side to keep the title race alive. Instead, they blew a 2-0 lead, drew 2-2, and handed Leicester the title a game early. 9 Spurs players booked. Dembele banned for gouging Diego Costa's eye. And to make matters worse, finished 3rd behind Arsenal. West Ham 1986. West Ham finished 3rd, just 4 points off the title, largely due to a 19-game unbeaten run, cut short by Tottenham, then Liverpool, who beat them 3-1. West Ham just couldn't match up defensively to Liverpool's attack and have never come close since. And at last, Wolves, early 1980s. Wolves' choke wasn't a single game, but a catastrophic decline. Relegated in 1981-82, nearly went out of business, followed by a hat-trick of relegations in 4 years. At one point, they went 5 months without a home goal. By 1986, they were in the 4th division. Wolves should be forever grateful to their local council and ASDA for saving their club.